Hello YouTube, in this video I'm going to paint Spider-Man from the Crisis Protocol 2-player starter set. Normally, for a quality mini like this, I would paint them using a shadows, midtone and highlights process. For this one, I'll be trying something a little bit different, using some of the techniques I've been using to paint board game minis on this channel. Specifically techniques with speed paints and expanding on those techniques. I start by priming the mini black. For this, I'm going to try starting with 3 levels of shading. So I then give the mini a zenithal highlight with grey, spraying it at about 45° angle. This way, the underside of the mini remains dark. I then spray white only from above and only at the front of the mini. This highlights the face, chest and limbs that are sticking out and parts of the base. Now that's dry, I start by painting with bright red speed paint. I forgot to turn on the camera for the first coat, so this is the second coat. This should give me a more vibrant red. Now I'm painting Tidal Wave on the other sections of his suit. I've been careful not to hit the other areas. I left the web section of this mini unglued on his back, that way I can move it out of the way with my fingers to paint the area more freely. I'll glue it on later once it's all painted. Now I'm giving the blue a second coat of Tidal Wave, just like I did with the red. This should increase the vibrancy of the blue in the highlight areas and also increase the contrast where it settles in the recesses, making the shadows darker. Now I'm using Grim Black to paint Venom on Spider-Man's base. Here I am being careful not to paint in the mouth area as it will be painted later. While I have Grim Black in the palette, I'm going to use it to fine line the web sections of Spider-Man's suit. I find Grim Black works really well for this as it's designed to flow well and sit in the recesses. I'm using tack here to hold the molded web out of the way while I paint this section. As a speed paint, Grim Black flows off the brush nicely and will create a light gradient, getting darker where it sits in the recesses. Now painting Venom's mouth and tongue area with familiar pink. To increase the vibrancy of this, I also do a second coat. Now with AK Black, I paint the beading on Spider-Man's suit. This will create a nice demarcation between the red and the blue of the suit and hopefully helps bring out that comic book look. I will also use the black on the eye surround and the spider logo on the front of his suit. Next, I'll use AK Dragonblood to paint the spider logo on the back of his suit. I will then highlight this with wine red. Using pale sand, I'll paint the suit's eyes, followed with a highlight of straight white. This should create a nice warm white eye. This thigh isn't quite right. I let the edge of the blue dry while I was painting it, so it looks a little darker than I think it should where the speed paint overlaps. I'm going to try and fix this by using deep sky blue, really thinned out to highlight the thigh section. It probably wasn't necessary, but hopefully it looks better. Now I'm using white to pick out Venom's teeth. While it's on the wet palette, I'm using deep sky blue as a base for Venom's eyes, before highlighting with white. This should give Venom cool white eyes and contrast with Spider-Man's warm white. That's if it's even noticeable. Holy White painted on Spider-Man's web is a great simple way to create subtle highlights and shadows on the white web. Finishing the mini off by painting the rim of the base black. That's it. I'm really happy with how he turned out and he was a lot of fun to paint. I think I will try painting more of my Crisis Protocol minis in this way and see how it goes. Thanks for watching.